Hi everyone, this is Ron and I'm part of the support and testing team here at RushFiles. In this video, I will walk you through how RushFiles is structured and how you can manage your organization using our platform, from resellers to companies and all the way to end users. We will start with reseller perspective, then move into company administration, and finally take a look at the end user experience. That said, we will be covering selected key sections and features in this walkthrough. If you'd like to explore further, you can always refer to our help desk articles or feel free to reach out to our support team if you have any questions. So let's start with the reseller. Now, moving into the platform itself, this is what we refer to as the reseller mode. Here you can get a centralized view of your environment, including the resellers and companies under your management. This actually gives you a clear picture of how everything is structured at a glance. Next, to better understand how everything is organized behind the scenes, let's take a quick look at the overall structure. At a high level, RushFiles uses a structured hierarchy. At the top, you have the RushFiles platform, followed by resellers. From there, each reseller can manage multiple companies and can also create sub-resellers when needed. This actually gives you a flexible setup for organizing customers, departments, or even partner networks. Okay, so now let's go back to the reseller mode. In reseller mode, there are two distinct sections. Number one is My Account, and then the other is Reseller Features. To begin with, under My Account, you'll find the General Settings. So here you can view and manage your reseller basic information, including the reseller name, reseller ID, and external ID, and of course, an overview of your default company share naming format. In addition, you can enable Microsoft 365 for the web here. And when enabled, companies under these reseller will be able to open and edit Office files directly in their browser. And that is without needing to install any desktop applications. So this is especially useful for teams that need quick access and collaboration on the go. Now, moving on, you can also configure the language settings for your account here. Here you go. And below that is the encryption settings. So we use AES 256 encryption, which means all customer data is securely encrypted both in transit and at rest by default. Next, you also have option to enable two-factor authentication, adding an extra layer of security to your account. And after that, you can configure the help URL, which allows you to direct users to your own support or help page. And finally, that would be the API information section. And this is where you can access your API key, a client API, file API, and documentation links for integrations. So that said, let's move to the reseller features section, starting with the design customization. Okay, so under settings, you can control whether skinning is allowed on sub-resellers and on accounts. This actually gives you control over whether branding customization can be extended further down the structure. Next is skinning. So under skinning, you can apply your branding across the web interface. This is actually useful for white labeling the platform so it better reflects your brand. And of course, if you're looking for a full white labeling, it is available for desktop and mobile apps, and that is available in on-premise setups. Then site details. So you can configure your subdomain and metadata here, such as the page title, metadata description, and keywords. This helps align the platform with your branding and web presence. Okay, now let's move on to email. And as you can see, under General, you can configure your email setup here. For example, you can create new email configuration by clicking this button. Just enter all the details and, of course, tests, and click Save. You can also toggle between email configurations, for example, this one or this one. You can also edit or delete mail configuration, of course. Here you go. And I'm not going to delete this one because I'm still using it. So let's move on to logs. Okay, so under logs, you can review your email activity history here. To me, this gives you full visibility into sent emails, including the date, type of email, recipient, and delivery status. This is especially useful when checking whether invitations or other, let's say, system emails were successfully delivered. Okay, here we go. And of course, the templates. Here you can customize system emails to match your branding. For example, if you're looking to add another language, just like that, click English, confirm, and you can actually access the template editor to fully customize the email content. Once you're done, you can hit publish and hit save. Okay, so after that, we can now move on to the manage resellers. And here you can create new resellers actually. You just need to click these create reseller button, just enter the details. Once you're done, hit the save button, it will be added to the list. You can also use the action menu to navigate into your resellers or even edit or delete them. So for example, let's navigate inside sample reseller A. Here we go. Now we are navigating inside sample reseller A, but of course, if you want to go back to your reseller, use the reseller switcher button here at the top. Click your reseller name, and there you go. You are now back at your reseller. Okay, let me just go back here. And of course, once you open a reseller, let's choose an example. Okay, same thing. Edit. Okay, so to begin with, under general settings, you can configure the reseller status. I'm referring to activate or deactivate these reseller. You can also view the reseller ID and domain, of course, here. And you can also update the reseller name and set an integration if needed. Okay, and in addition, of course, you can allow or restrict the creation of sub-resellers depending on how you want to structure your hierarchy. Then under storage here, okay, you can define whether the reseller has unlimited or limited users and storage. All you want to do is, of course, make sure to toggle this button and then enter your desired value here and make sure to click the Save Changes button. So let's move to the scanning section, wherein you can control whether the branding customization is allowed for this reseller. This actually determines whether the reseller can customize the appearance of their client environment. Now let's move on to manage admins. Okay, so here you can create and manage reseller administrators, including accessing, editing, or removing their admin accounts as needed. Because here is the create button. You just need to fill it out, click save, and it will be added to the list. And of course, just click refresh if it's still not showing up. And of course, once you open an admin account, for example, this one here, you'll see the admin's basic profile information, including their name and email address. In addition, you can also resend the invitation or password email, or even delete the admin account if needed. Next is the security section, where you can find an overview of the admin security settings, including their two-factor authentication status, and of course the method. All right, now let's move to the manage companies. Here you can actually create and manage companies under your reseller. For example, from company lists, you can quickly review each company's status, the storage, and even the number of users. You can also search for companies, and we have these refresh button, of course, and delete or edit these company account. So once you open, for example, a company account, you will be taken into the edit company page. To begin with, under general settings, you can manage the company status and company name, of course. We have activate, deactivate. You can also edit the company name here. In addition, you can decide whether the reseller admin is also assigned as a company admin, and whether users are allowed to download the client software here. And of course, whether a default share should be created for the company. There you go. Next, what we have here is the storage. So under the storage, you can control whether the company has unlimited storage and unlimited number of users. But of course, you can toggle these button off if you are looking to input a specific, or let's say you want to define the maximum storage and maximum number of users allowed for this specific company. All right. Now, in the same section, you can configure the company's retention settings, including the, let's say, minimum number of days, minimum number of versions, whether those minimums should be frozen, and how long deleted files are actually kept here. And of course, what we have here. Below that, of course, is the storage usage. You can view an overview of how much storage is currently being used, including the breakdown for files, deleted files, of course, and the history files, as well as the current number of registered users are also available here. Next, under skinning, you can control whether branding customization is allowed for that company, and you can also see the current subdomain for the account if one is actually set. Now, let me just scroll down a bit. Here we go. So, then under the two-factor authentication, this is where you can enable two-factor authentication for the company and choose whether it should also be enforced on the account. Okay, so after that, we have the advanced features where you can enable the advanced features such as the advanced public links, settings, device management, and IP whitelisting. All right, and of course, next is email customization, wherein you can enable the email customization for the company account, because this is important if you want the company to use its own, for example, mail configuration, and instead of relying on the reseller's default configuration. Finally, we have here the Active Directory settings, where you can configure the company's Active Directory setup, including the current AD configuration, domain path, and of course, overview of the whitelist domains. Okay, now that we have covered sections and features from the reseller side, we are going to switch perspective and look at how things work from the company administrator side, actually. So to do that, we can click the mode switcher here. As you can see, let's click on client mode. And of course, in client mode, there are distinct sections. So number one would be my account. Okay, so that would be the first one, which is standard across all users. And it actually gives access to, of course, share lists, where users manage their files, and links menu, where users can view and manage public links, including their status, such as approved, blocked, or pending. And of course, devices. And this is actually where users can view their connected devices or block them. All right. Now, we have the administration section. That would be the second one. And that will be the main focus, of course, of our discussion. So let me give you a quick rundown before we diving into the rest of the administration features. We can actually quickly go through the settings under the account settings menu here. First would be the general. So you can control whether users are allowed to create shares and whether a share is automatically created when a new user is created. Just a quick note, these settings directly apply when creating new users, and I'm going to show you that later on. Next would be the password constraints. And here you can define password requirements such as minimum length and required character types and overall password complexity. Plus, we also have here a user lockout, wherein you can configure how many failed login attempts are allowed and how long user account will be locked. We also have here two-factor authentication, wherein you can enable and optionally enforce two-factor authentication for the account. And of course, encryption key. For the encryption key, you can update or rotate the encryption key used to secure stored data as well. Next would be device management. So here you can assign device approvers who are responsible for approving new devices attempting to access the account. All right, next would be public link. Under public link, you can configure link expiration and also download limits, for example, and of course, approval requirements for public links. Under IP whitelisting, this time you can restrict access to For example, only specific address are allowed to log in or use the platform. And what we have here is history, wherein you can configure actually the version, the max days, and of course the max versions of files are actually kept. And next under that would be Microsoft 365 for the web, which you can actually enable for the company account, this integration I'm referring to. So users can view and edit files directly in the browser. This actually requires a valid Microsoft 365 business license, by the way. Okay, and what we have here would be language. So for language, you can set the default language used for system emails and notification. And finally, the capacity, wherein you can get an overview of your current storage usage, including files, deleted files, history files, and of course, the number of users within the account. Okay, so let me just close this. There's actually a lot of submenus under account settings. Now that we have gone through the account settings, which primarily define how your environment behaves, let's move into the core administration features, where you manage users, access, and for example, let's say consent within your company. And that would be, first on the list would be the manage shares. You can view and manage all shared folders within the company. Here you can actually create new share and of course update the existing ones. Here you can rename. You can also invite team members to these particular share. Here we go. And basically this is where you define how data is organized and shared across users. Next would be manage groups menu, still under administration section, because here you can organize users into groups. For example, you can create a group here, or you can add a user into the group itself. For example, here I'm going to add this user, click save. In addition, you can also manage share access. I'm referring to giving this group access to a specific share, just like this. And of course, the access right, that would be editor or viewer. Click save, and there you go. So basically, this is actually making it easier to scale and maintain access control when you are using managed groups. Now, let's move on to manage users, because under manage users, this is where you can create, of course, new user by clicking the create new button here, create new user button here, enter their details, and hit save. They will be added into the list. You can delete them. You can also, for example, edit the information, or at least get an overview of their current settings for whether they are allowed to create shares, whether what's the status of their 2FA, which whether it is disabled, and the authentication method used. And this is also where you can, let's say, add the user to a share. Here you go. And by the way, you can also add this user to a particular group. But since we already added that, we're not going to do it right here. So in addition, I would say that you can also use these edit user page to help. Let's say the user forgot their password and they need help. You can simply click the recent invitation to password mail heal. And of course, you can delete the user. What else? You can also update their user type, whether you want them to transition from external to internal or admin. And let's say you can also edit their user account status, for example. Well, example use case would be if the user, let's say, for example, will be on a vacation for a month. Instead of deleting the user, you can simply deactivate it. Or let's say if the user has been suspended for a week or so, then you can simply just update the user account status right here. Of course, do not forget to click the save settings. All right. And what else? So we also have manage devices. And this might take a few to load because there's a lot of information to gather from the database. And just to give you a quick insight about managed devices, this is where you can monitor and control devices that are connected to your company. Now let's give you an example. Let's say my user And of course, I want to show the status approved, of course, and this is also where you can block that particular, let's say, device, and of course that user. So basically, here in manage devices, this is where you can approve or block devices, and it definitely helps ensure that only authorized devices can access your data within the company, or let's just say the company data. Now, moving forward, we have manage public links. So under manage public links, you can view and manage all public links created by all users within your company or organization account. So from here, you can actually preview them. You can also edit their public link. You can block. You can approve, or you can also get their public link from here. And of course, you can delete them right here. All right. Next would be manage integration. Pretty simple. You can configure external integrations connected to your company environment. Plus, we also have here the email section or menu. This is where you can configure under general. If you're looking to, let's say, for example, set up a new mail configuration here. All you need to do is just enter the mail configuration here, and it says it, and once you're done, hit save and toggle that button on. So that will be used by your company account instead of relying to your provider's default mail configuration. And it's pretty much the same as the ones that we had in the reseller. Only difference is that this is actually at company level. Now let's move on to design customization. Okay, so if enabled, again, same with email customization under your resellers. If enabled, for the design customization, you can adjust how the interface appears for your users. Again, only if this feature is enabled by the reseller. And of course, pretty much the same for the other sections here, which is site details. So let's move on to the reports. Now, with the reports, you can access insights about the storage, files and folders report, basically internal reports about the files and folders storage. You can audit those files and folders report, and public files and folders from the public link that you have shared. So basically, for the files and folders you have shared using the public link feature of the web app. And of course, what we have here, user. So user report and login report as well. Finally, what we have here is the restore history. This is actually a powerful feature, I should say, because this is designed for larger recovery scenarios, such as recovering from ransomware or restoring a share back to a previous state. So basically with this, you can revert files and folders within the share to an earlier point in time when they were still accessible and unaffected by, for example, ransomware. However, it is important to note that this action applies to the entire share, meaning all files within that share will be affected. So for more granular recovery, such as restoring a single file to a previous version, you can instead, or let's say the users can instead use the files history feature to revert it to a previous version without impacting other files, which I'm going to show you later when we reach the end user, which is now that we have seen how administrators manage or access and structure, let's move to the end user experience and see how users interact with their files on a daily basis. Okay, so for end users, their files actually go through within the web app. That's number one. Number two, Windows app. And number three, Mac application or macOS. And number four would be mobile apps. We cover both iOS and Android. So for web app, as you can see here, this is already the web app. This is where users can manage their files. This is where they can upload. They can also create a folder. And remember, we talked about Microsoft 365 for the web. they can edit or view their Office files online, even though they don't have the desktop application installed on their devices. And of course, I also mentioned something about, yeah, well, public link, you can also create it here. Almost majority of the file operations are here. And what you can see here, oh, this one, history. So let's say, for example, you have updated this file. Let me open this real quick, and we are going to update that. So depending on my internet connection speed, it might really take a few. But again, once you have edited these Excel, that edited version will appear also here as an update. And what you can do is you can restore from that version. So for example, you just need to click this, and there you go. All right. Next would be the Windows app. Let me give you an example because I have here a session. Let me just check. Primary PC. Here we go. And this is how the Windows app looks like. Basically, this is our Windows app, and it shows you the share list, session log, failed files if there is any, and of course the settings. There's a lot of features to explore here, by the way. But just to give you a quick overview, basically we have here the Windows app itself. And when you click the open folder, it will open your Windows Explorer. And here you will see RushFiles. Basically, we call this sync folder. And this is where all users will work and manage their files. So here, so they can upload, they can edit, they can lock, they can also download all the files from here. And once they have downloaded that, they can actually move it to their local folder. So for that, I should also show you our Mac application. So let me just click here. Here we go. This is our macOS app. And if I open my folder, since I'm using macOS, here we go. Here's the RushFiles drive, and this is where you can manage your files. You can upload it here, you can edit your files here, and so on and so forth. Okay, now let me just go back here. And all right, and that's actually a quick overview of how you can manage resellers, companies, and users within RushFiles. And as you can see, platforms give you a strong control over structure. Well, of course, specifically the reseller, and including the branding, the security, and the resource management, while still keeping the experience simple for resellers, admins, and of course, us end users. All right, now if you would like to learn more, or let's say explore the platform further, feel free to visit rushfiles.com to try it out. Here, this is our website, and or check out our help desk for more detailed guides. And again, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate your time. Until then, this is Ron, and thank you so much. Have a good one.